各位观众朋友，大家好，欢迎大家来到线上的2022台北电影节的线上座谈。那我们今天要来邀请的影人是我们的今年的非一般真实这个单元里面《服刑母亲》这个作品的导演彼得·克雷克斯。那大家都知道，我们这一次在今年台北电影节做了几个这样子的线上座谈，原因都是因为我们因为疫情的影响之下，影人虽然他很想要来参与我们的现场的放映活动，但是在这些疫情的规范的影响，其实很难成行。那今天的情形比较特别一点哦，今天其实导演克雷克斯他人在台湾，他其实之前就已经跟我们表达说，他其实很想要来参与台北电影节放映活动，那他也特别把他的行程提早了。那只是很可惜的是，碍于目前的我们一些防疫的规范呢，那他现在已经解除了前面3天的隔离，但是还在后面的自主监控期。那也是他今天就是特别为了符合这个防疫的规范之下，那我们还是为导演然后举行了这个线上的Q&A 座谈，让导演有机会来跟我们分享一下他这个作品背后的故事，以及他创作的一些想法。那我们先欢迎导演 Peter Kirkus。So
welcome everyone to the online sessions. Today we're very happy to have the director of 107 Mothers, Peter Kirkus, with us. Due to the pandemic, a lot of the directors are not able to be with us in person in Taipei this year. However, for Kirkus, the situation is a bit different. He is now actually in Taiwan, but he has to follow the pandemic regulations. So today we are going to have this online session with him. And then, first of all, we're very happy to have you with us online.
先请导演跟我们打个招呼吧。
Can you say a few words to our audience in Taiwan?
Yes, good evening. I'm very happy that I'm here. The situation that I'm actually now reminds me a title of a wonderful film by Wim Wenders. It's called So Close, So Far. So I'm basically here in Taipei, so close, but on the other so far because I cannot meet you personally. But at least I'm very happy that I'm here.
很高兴各位今天能够一起参加，我很高兴能够来到台北。其实这样我想到文的这一部电影就是 So Close So Far。那我们现在虽然彼此在物理上面的距离很靠近，可是我们必须要分隔两地。
是的。好，那在座谈开始之前，我也想先提醒一下，今天在线上参与我们这个座谈的观众，我们都很欢迎您在就是 YouTube 的直播的聊天室里面留下你对于这个《服刑母亲》这部电影的一些回响或 feedback， 或者是你有任何的问题，也欢迎你在这个聊天室里面提出你的问题，那我们也会请导演来帮你做个解答。
So before we start, just a reminder to our audience online that this is now live streams on YouTube. So if you want to have interactions with our directors, you can actually leave comments or leave questions on the chat room. So later on, we can raise your questions for you to the director so he can answer them.
OK， 好，那在这个座谈的一开始，我有一个问题我还是想要先回到一个这个创作的比较起点的地方去请导演谈一谈哦。就是我们也都看过这部片子的观众们也都知道，《服刑母亲》它其实是它是从导演他很多的田野调查的访谈里面所提炼出来的一个故事，但同时它里面也有我们看到的很多的角色，其实他们扮演的都是他们的自己，包括里面的这个狱警，这个Irina他也是他其实扮演的是他自己哦。但是我们在这个故事里面可以看到的，就是其实他不只是看到有一些关于好像介于真实之间，我觉得有另外一个东西也很吸引人，就是这群女性，她们对于爱这件事情，然后怎么由爱生恨，而有另外一边又是面临了就是小孩的出生而产生的这些母爱。其实我很好奇，想请导演聊聊，就是在一开始你想要创作这个作品的时候，是哪一个东西特别吸引你呢？是关于就是在看到了女子监狱里面的这群人，或者是说是他们在谈论这些关于爱情，关于任何各种各样的爱这个主题？
So first of all, I would like to move on to the beginnings of the creation parts, and I would like to know about the creative inspirations. We know that this film is based on your extensive field research in a prison in Ukraine, and also you see a group of women in this prisons. In this film, actually, many of these characters are playing themselves, including the warden's Irina, and many of these characters are actually playing themselves as well in the film. So I would like to know what inspired to make this film. Is this because that you saw this group of women, or that is it because the way they talk about love and how they respond to love? Because love is part of the reason some of them are in the jail, and also they have their love with their children. So can you tell us about why they decided to make this film?
Okay, it's a long story, but I will try to make it short.
OK，
I never wanted to make a film in a female prison. I wanted to make a film about a non-political censorship, actually documentary film. Because the future of the censorship is in the hands of computers, so I wanted to find the last living censors that are like they are censoring like persons. Translated.
其实我从来没有打算要在拍摄一部跟女子监狱有关的电影。其实我当时只要讨论的是跟那些非政治有关的言论审查的部分。那我们当然知道，在未来的世界里面，其实言论审查是由电脑或者是人工智慧来控制的。但是如果我们要去体现在现实生活中，唯一还剩下的审查的话，也许监狱就是其中一个主题。
So we started to do a research in Saudi Arabia when there are censoring the fashion magazines. So they will be possible to publish. So they censor the half-naked women. We found an interesting censorship in Nigeria in Nollywood when they have to censor all these films that are producing there. And then I was thinking about censorship in the prison because somebody has to censor the letters. So it should be free, non-political censorship stories.
我原本打算要去涵盖的是三种不同的非政治性的言论审查的情况。第一种情况是在沙特阿拉伯，他们会去审查你的时尚杂志里面有没有女性露出太多肌肤的这些部分，或者是在奈及利亚，他们当地有很多产制很多电影，这些电影也会经过言论审查。那另外一个部分就是监狱里面因为美书信往来都会经过言论审查。
And we started to do a research. First, we started to do research in the prisons in Ukraine, and we visited 11 prisons. And the last one was the prison in Odessa, which is a prison for mothers with children. And we found Irina, who is one of the main actresses in the film, and in reality, she's really working like a censor. And I fell in love with Irina. And I fell in love with the place, and we decided to forget the two other stories of the documentary film. We decided to change the topic, and we decided to change the genre because we realized that we are not able to make it like a normal documentary, so we decided to make it like a fiction.
刚才一开始提到的是，我们原本的拍摄计划是个3段式的故事。那我们后来呢，在研究监狱这个主题的时候，到了乌克兰，前后造访11座监狱。到了最后这个监狱的时候，就是妇女跟他们的孩子共处的这个监狱里面的时候，我是看到了这个 Irina， 就是这个狱警，他后来负责这个言论审查的工作，我就非常喜欢这个角色，也非常喜欢这个环境，所以我就决定把另外2个主题先放在一边，然后也改变了我们拍摄的主题跟类型。因为如果是在监狱拍摄的话，不能够完全的以传统纪录片的形式拍摄。
During our preparation, I spent really a lot of time in the prison. In the beginning, I didn't know what the story will be about. And I made a lot of interviews with the prisoners. And at the end of the film, I checked my notebook and I saw that I spoke with 107 women. So that's why the title is also 107 Mothers. And from their stories, their real stories, I build up the script of the film. So basically, I don't want to say that I stole, but I borrow their stories, their dialogues, their habits, their behaving, their characters.
在我进行准备的时候，其实我一开始并不知道这部作品会会有什么样的走向，所以我进行很多访谈。那我访谈了很多这些狱卒之后呢，当我在完成最后一个访谈的时候，低头看自己的笔记，发现我自己前后总共访问了107位的狱囚，所以这部片叫做《福星母亲》，但英文名称其实叫做107位母亲。那在这个过程里面，后来就把剧本写完。这剧本里面，其实我并不能说是偷了他们的故事，而是我借用了他们的故事、讲话方式、习惯，还有他们的表达跟他们的印象等等，一起去塑造了这个故事。
And the last thing, when I did the research, I found out that a lot of women, not all of the women there, of course, but a lot of women are in the prison because they killed their partners or the mistresses of their partners from jealousy. And for me, it was a very strong moment when I realized that there are women in front of me that on one side they took the life of somebody because they killed the person. On the other side, they gave a life to a new person, to their children. So this balance was very interesting for me. And basically, without any judging, without any moral prejudices, I started to make this film.
我在访谈过程里面也注意到一些特殊现象，就是很多的女性她们入狱的原因是因为爱情，然后是因为她们杀人的原因而入狱。那杀人有时候是杀了自己的另外一半，或者是另外一半的情妇等等。所以在这种情况之下，他们在监狱服刑过程里面又生了孩子，所以他们在这段人生当中，一方面取走了他人的性命，另外一方面又赋予了新的生命。所以这个一取一得之间，这个生命的过程，我觉得非常的有意思。我在这最后就决定用不带评断的方式，用非常客观角度去看待这眼前发生的一切。
那导演您刚刚也提到了，就是这个里面的这个扮演狱警的这个伊丽娜，然后她其实是她在里面她是扮演她自己，而且她自己在真实生活中也是这样子的身份。那你刚刚说你很爱上了这个真实人物，也爱上了这个角色，那是什么东西、什么特质它特别吸引你呢？那同时，那他又是您又是怎么决定请他来在片中扮演他自己？
So you mentioned that when you went to this prison, you met this character or this figure, Karina. She's a warden and also a censor, and you said you fell in love with this character or this figures. And I would like to know that what are the quality or personality that attracted you to her, and how did you persuade or convince us to play herself in the film?
The first moment when we met, because she had to do a tour guide in a prison for us, and we were walking on a long corridor, and it was just like from a movie, because on one side one of the prisoners asked her something, and she was really very rude to her, like very strict, like from German movies, like, what are you doing here, da da da. And then another prisoner asked her something, and she just turned around, and she was like a mother, completely sweet and caring. And it was like, editing in the picture. And I said, she's a fantastic actress, because she's acting in her work. This is like, she has to work with her emotions. Like, some of the prisoners, they deserve this, and some of the prisoners, they deserve love. It depends on the situation of what they are now. So I thought she's a fantastic character, and if she can do the same in front of the camera, it would be perfect. Also, her attitude to the prisoners was very nice, because the prisoners are her real family. She's single, and I think she will be forever single because her standards are too high. And her real family are the prisoners. That was so interesting for me.
我们第一次到这个监狱拜访的时候，其实第一个遇见人就是 Arena。那 Arena 当时为我们进行这个监狱的导览，我们走在一个长廊上面，其实那个画面很像是在电影里面出现的镜头一样。我们当时走在长廊上的时候，旁边有位狱囚问了他一件事情，他非常疾言厉色的回应他，然后非常严格、非常严厉，甚至有点粗鲁的方式回应这个狱囚。但后来有另外一位狱囚问他问题的时候，他突然转过来之后，用非常温柔语气，好像母亲一样的语气回答这个狱囚。我就觉得这个角色太迷人了，因为他的工作里面呢，同时间就在饰演不同角色，他知道针对不同的狱囚，他们要有不同的态度跟不同的反应，所以对我来说，他既然在工作里面就能够饰演这么多重的角色，他如果能够在镜头上面表现的话，应该是非常适合的人选。那另外一方面，我觉得 Serena 其实自己是单身，我觉得这些狱囚就像他的家人一样，他自己的择偶条件其实非常高，所以我自己其实认为他大概会单身一辈子。所以对我来说，这些狱囚其实就跟他们就等同于他的家人。
好，那当初您是怎么样子跟 Irina 说，就是你想要她在片中饰演她自己？那她当时的一开始听到的反应又是如何？我还蛮好奇的。
So how did you convince Arena to play herself in the film, and what was her initial reactions? Was it saying yes like immediately, or was it confusions or doubt or rejection?
There were no doubts. Like from the first moment, she said that it can be a very interesting experience. She was helping us in communication with the prisoners a lot, and I think she was also enjoying how we are showing her personal life. Even sometimes, it's not the most beautiful image, because sometimes she's lonely, sometimes she's sad, sometimes she's like a loser. But she was reflecting it, and she was really a very creative part of the film.
我当时要说服 Arena 的时候，其实他非常爽快的直接答应了，因为他觉得这个过程应该非常有意思。他其实也帮助我们跟很多的狱囚之间彼此的沟通，他也好像似乎很乐意在我们的镜头前面去呈现他自己个人的生活。那其实当然很多比较低潮的部分，或者是比较沮丧啊、哀伤啊、孤单啊，或者是一些挫折的地方，但是他其实对我们来说，在拍摄过程里面是非常重要的创意元素。
了解。那除此之外，其实我也很好奇，就是导演您怎么去决定要在这个监狱里面去呈现他们哪一些生活的这些场景？那这些场景其实它看起来都构图都很漂亮，也很工整，可是它的真实成分有多少呢？
So, in the prison scenes, how did you choose and how did you select those scenes that will be put into the film? And in the film, we see there are great compositions. There are also great scenes as well. They're very beautiful in scenes. So, how did you select, and what are the scenes that you decided to put into the film or not put into the film?
We filmed a lot of scenes, much more that are in the film. Like we filmed 86 filming days. And the method was that we were working with a very fiction-style camera setting, but with real people in real places. And combining this gave us a very strong authentic feeling, but also an aesthetic feeling. So you don't have this shaky hand camera like usually in the documentary films, but the people are real. And I always try to make moments that are generating emotions also in front of the camera. So usually we put them to situations that were really hard for them very often. But the filming was something like a collective therapy for them. And basically our biggest problem was to refuse, because everybody wanted to be in front of the camera. So basically, the hardest work for the director was saying them, sorry, but we are really full and the film cannot have 6 hours, so we cannot film you. But they wanted to confess. Like we had hours and hours of very touching confessions with them, and they wanted to play and everything. So I think they just don't want to be forgotten. They know that basically they will live longer in our movie.
在这部作品里面，其实我们拍摄的场景很多后来都没有剪进到最后的成片当中。我们前后的拍摄时间总共有86天。那在过程里面，其实我们这是很特别的情况，因为这些都是真实的人物、真实的环境，可是我们是用一种像是拍剧情片的方式，用剧情片的这个的运镜的方式来去呈现这一切。所以这个过程里面的确是结合了这些虚构成分或者是真实成分存在，所以其实非常有意思。其实我们在身为导演的时候，我很意外的是，其实很多基本上绝大多数的欲求都希望能够在镜头前露面，他们希望能够去做告白、做自白，或者是说自己的故事，或者是让自己有机会可以在镜头里面跟大家说话。因为他们其实我觉得后来很担心，他们会很担心自己被世人遗忘，因为他们觉得自己在这个监狱里面其实是不被重视的。然后其实作为导演，有时候我们要非常勉为其难的跟他们说，其实时间有限，我们毕竟不是拍一部6个小时的纪录片，所以并不是每一个人都有机会可以上镜头。
那导演您刚刚也提到，就是片中这些自白的场景，我也很好奇，当时是怎么样子开始有这样拍摄这些自白场景的想法？那你当时是怎么去跟这些受刑人他们去沟通，说我们要来拍这个画面，然后我们拍这个画面要做什么事情？
So we saw a lot of moving confessions in the films, and how did you communicate with them about these confessions, and how did you arrange them, and what did you tell them before that we are going to make these confessions, and did you tell them what will they be using to?
Yeah, I speak Russian, so basically it was very simple because we had a direct communication. And actually what you see in the movie, you see that Irina is having a dialogue with them. In reality, I was asking them questions, and then the editing, we changed Irina because they were much more open to me, because I'm a man, and there is this female-male energy. It was working. And also I'm a foreigner, and there is a wonderful proverb that my grandmother used to say: the foreigner can tell anything, and the foreigner can listen anything. And I think it's a psychological thing that they were confessing. Even they knew that there is a camera, it will be in the movie, it will be screened on the TV, so it was not a hidden camera, but psychologically they were much more open to me than to Irina, or I think than to any Ukrainian director.
我自己会说俄语，所以我可以直接跟他们沟通，在沟通方面上面并没有什么问题。各位在电影里面看到这些画面，看到是这些狱囚在跟 Elena 讲话，但其实我们是透过剪接呈现出来的。其实当时在现场拍摄现场的时候，问问题的是我，他们面对他们的对面坐的是我，所以对他们来讲，面对我说话的似乎他们比较自在，因为毕竟我不是监狱里面的人。那另外一方面，我是男女之间的这个互动，也许又跟两位女性之间的互动有些不同，所以这都是我们在拍摄的时候所采用的技巧。那另外一方面是我自己是外国人，那我自己我记得我以前我祖母说一句我们当地的俗语是说，外国人什么都愿意说，也什么都愿意听。很多人在面对外国人的时候，都会更愿意敞开心胸，把他们自己内心的话说出来。虽然我们的摄影机其实就架在旁边，它并不是隐藏摄影机，可是我觉得他们在面对这样的环境的时候，面对着一个外国人或者一个陌生人的时候，他们反而比较愿意把心里的话或者是想说的话说出来。
了解。那刚刚我们谈了很多，在影片里面是属于比较真实的这个部分。那我想请导演谈谈，在这里面一个比较明显的虚构的人物，就是另外一个女主角 Lesia。虽然说 Lesia 她是一个她其实还是有一个真实的原型的角色存在，只是说她是这个片子里面唯一一个专业演员去诠释的角色。可不可以请导演谈谈这样子的决定
？In this film, there are also some fictional aspects. For example, Leslia is played by a professional actress, and she's actually the only professional actress in this film. And of course, the story that she portrays are based on some of the true stories and true testimony that you have heard. So how did you make up these decisions to have a professional actress to play Leslia?
It was not planned that she will be the second main role. actually, in the film, there is her best friend, Nadia, and she's a real prisoner. And basically, on her story, we based all the movie. And Nadia had to be the main character. But she's so strong that I had a feeling that she will steal the film just for herself. Like all the attention will go just to her. And I realized that I need basically a weaker or a more silent person to have like the main character, because Lesa has to be a mirror of the other woman. So for me, it was really very important that the film is a mosaic of different life stories of different women. And Lesa is a person who is absorbing. So she's 90% of the film silent, but through her, we can feel the other woman. And this was for me very important.
我们一开始的时候并没有预设到 Leslie 会变成这个片里面另外一个非常重要的角色。其实很多的故事原本都来自他在片里面这个好朋友 Nadia， 然后 Nadia 是一位真实的狱囚，然后他的故事也非常的鲜明，非常的令人印象深刻。我当时在拍摄和制作的就觉得这个角色好像会吸走所有人的目光，大家好像都会把目光专注在这个角色 Nadia 身上，所以我觉得必须要去创造另外一个也许是比较弱、比较沉稳、比较内敛、比较少说话的角色，让大家好像看到一面镜子一样，去映照跟反射出这些不同角色的故事。我希望这部片能够呈现出是一个拼贴出不同角色的人生，不同人们他们在这个监狱里面所经历的故事、经历的一切。所以各位看到在作品里面，其实 Leslie 大概90%时间都是沉默的，透过他的沉默、他的不语、他的反应，让我们去看到其他人面对这些环境跟这些事件的反应。
那我在看这个导演的影片的资料的时候，其实也看到，好像就是饰演 Lesia 这个角色的演员，他其实在你的前期调查中，他也一起参与去听这些受刑人他们的故事，是吗？可不可以稍微聊一下他在前期的时候他的参与这些田调的一些经验？
As far as I know, that the professional actress that plays Lesia actually participated in a lot of the field researches in the preparation process and in the preparation stage. She also listened to a lot of testimonies and a lot of interviews that you had with those prisoners. Can you tell us a bit about what kind of role that she played or she contributes in the preparation process?
Yes, actually the preparation process was very simple. When we did all the confessions, she was sitting in the other room with headphones and she was watching all the confessions. And also the Nadia, the former prisoner, she was already released free when she was acting in the movie. So she was staying with us in the hotel. And she had a small baby. And basically my only director work was babysitting. And I let Lesa and Nadia to speak together hours and hours. So I was with the baby and they had coffee and wine and enjoying life, and they were talking together and chatting. And Lesa was learning the speech, the gestures, and the thinking of Nadia.
在准备期间的这过程其实非常简单，我们当时就安排 Leslie 就是这位专业演员，他们搭到另外一个房间去听我们的访谈，听他们的各种自白等等，所以他听完了全程。那另外一方面，在片中饰演他好朋友这个 Nadia， 其实当时已经是更生人了，他已经出狱了，他有一个非常小的孩子，所以他当时也跟我们这 Nadia 跟我们一起住在旅馆里面。我自己身为导演，在这个阶段的工作其实就是当保姆，基本上就是帮他顾这个小孩。然后让 Nadia 跟 Leslie 可以在一起喝酒啊、聊天等等，让过程里面让这位演员可以去模仿或者是参考 Nadia 她的讲话方式啊、动作还有习惯等等。
了解。那所以那个时候Lesia 她有没有跟导演您讲说，就是她跟这些不管是更生人也好，或者是倾听受刑人的 confession 也好，她所得到的一些印象是什么？
So did Leslie talk to you afterwards about what her impressions about these testimonies, these confessions, or her interaction with Nadia?
No, minimum. I just let her to absorb everything like a sponge. And then what was really important, that everything we made really realistic. So when she had to watch out from the window, a normal director would have this shot ready in 10 minutes. But we let her watch out from the window for 1 hour. So she had all the boring and sadness feeling of the prison in her eyes. We just need real time. And we let her suffer a lot of times. I'm sorry for that. But I needed to have really real emotions. It was very hard.
其实Leslie 很少跟我反馈他当时的感受是什么。其实我们基本上就是让他跟这些的不论是前狱囚、跟生人也好，或者是狱囚能够互相的互动之后，能够彼此的学习、跟认识、跟熟悉。我们在这拍摄过程里面，其实非常强调写实的重要性。我希望很多的画面都很写实，所以一般的导演可能安排这位演员，如果要望向窗外的话，可能就坐在现场10分钟，让他看窗外演完就没事了。但是基本上我就让他在这窗前坐了1小时。所以他的眼神里面就充满了各种狱囚里面会出现的无助啊、无聊啊，或者悲伤等等。当然，对这个演员来说非常的抱歉，因为他在那边哭坐1小时。可是对我来说，这些演员的特质，还有这些狱囚会表现出来的情绪，都非常写实的吐露在镜头上面。
那导演这一次您拍摄的这部《服刑母亲》，它以一个 docufiction 的方式来呈现，对您而言，就是因为您过去拍的作品比较多是纪录片，纯粹的纪录片。那拍摄 docufiction 这样子的形式，对您而言开启了一个什么样创作的空间或是可能？
Your previous films are mostly traditional documentary, and this time is a docufiction. So, how is this experience feeling to you, and how would this experience influence your future projects?
I was always making the films very much on the border between documentary and fiction. And I think I cannot make a professional fiction because I'm very much interested what the people are really thinking and what the people would really say. And I just cannot make a film telling the actors tell this and this and do this and this. I'm very interested in these interactions. And my future film will be again about women and about women dreams. And one part of this film we are actually going to film here in Taiwan.
对我来说，我之前的作品其实一直都是介于在真实跟虚构之间，在这个边界上面，所以我可能没有办法去完全的拍出一部完全的剧情片，或者是完全虚构的作品。因为对我来说，我非常的最感兴趣的内容其实是人跟人之间的互动，还有人们真实心里所想所说的事情。所以对我来说，我没有办法去，比如说指挥演员说你应该要说这句话、做什么动作等等，我还是会以纪录片为核心。我的下一部作品其实也跟女性有关系。跟女性的梦想有关系，而且其中一部分其实会在台湾拍摄。
那导演可以稍微聊一下为什么会在台湾拍摄吗？这是跟这个故事本身的内容就有直接相关吗？还是说是因为它是一个取景上的需求？
So can you tell us a bit about the next projects? Why will it be filmed in Taiwan? Is it because of the character or the story, or is it because some of the scene that you need are in Taiwan?
It's because the astrologist told us we have to film in Taiwan. Actually, the film is an Italian production, and we have an Italian astrologist, and her clients are coming to her, and she can change their life if they go in the day of their birthday to the place where they are ideal stars for their rebirth. And one of our clients had to go, actually not to Taiwan, but 260 kilometers southwest, but that is just the sea, so no good place for spending your holidays. So the closest place is Taipei. So we have to come with our protagonist on the day of her birthday here to Taiwan and to spend the holiday with her here, and let's see how the stars will change her future.
其实这部缘起是因为占星学的关系。那我们这部作品其实是意大利的制作的作品。那这个作品当中呢，我们的主角是一位意大利的占星师。那他能够帮助大家改变人生的跟改变命运。那方法是什么呢？就是你必须要在你出生的那一天，到你的某一颗星所在的这个映照到地球的某一个位置上面去。那其中一个客户呢，其实他就被要求要到距离台湾大概西南边260公里的地方。那这个地方基本上海上，所以距离这个点最近的地方就在台湾。所以到时候我们会跟着这位客户到台湾来，在台北待一整，在他生日这天待一整天，然后我们来看看他到底会不会因此改变人生命运。
了解。
It sounds like a light and pop documentary, but in reality, it's speaking about the main questions in the life, because the clients are coming to the astrologists with the most deep questions. It's love, motherhood, aging, death. So we will try to speak about these questions in a little bit documentary comedy style.
所以这个故事听起来好像有点诙谐跟喜剧的成分，但其实我们要关注到的其实是人生当中非常重要这个课题。因为这个客户想要关注的是跟爱情，然后跟女性还有年迈这些有关的问题。所以他其实我们要去看到的是，到底通过这个过程里面，他们人会去思索这些人生的问题，而并不只是一个纪录片式的喜剧片而已。
了解。听起来非常的有趣，现在就觉得有点想要迫不及待等这个想要这个片子完成，然后可以看到它最后的样子了。不过因为今天我们的时间的关系，所以我们今天的父亲母亲的线上座谈必须到这边告一段落。那也非常谢谢导演今天非常精彩的分享，我相信希望这个拍摄的经验也可以让台湾很多的不管是说哪个领域的创作者都可以得到一些启发，然后也可以在就如同我们这个单元一样，非一般真实，它可以在这个真实跟虚构中间的这个模糊地带，也找到一个属于他自己的独特的切入点。好，非常谢谢。
So thank you for your answers, and I think it's a fascinating synopsis. I can't wait to watch the next projects and see how the clients come to Taiwan and how he or she will react to everything here in Taipei. So due to time constraint, we had to close the sessions. But thanks again to Mr. Caracas for participating in the interviews, and we hope that everyone's in Taiwan, whether you have watched these films or not, you can get inspired and then be interested in these films and also see what is possible between the borderline between reality and fictions. So once again, thank you, Mr. Caracas, for participating in the sessions.
Thank you very much, and sorry to be a little bit longer. I have one request. This film was filmed in Ukraine. The women in the prison are still in the prison, most of them, and they are in the prison that is under the shelling and bombing. Nadia, one of the protagonists, is the refugee in Slovakia. Irina is still working. She said she will not go out. And Lesa, she is helping to other refugees in Lviv, in a city in West Ukraine. And I just would like to ask you if you can, instead one beer after the screening, just help with any donation to Ukrainians to stop this terrible war sooner. It would be really perfect. Thank you very much.
非常感谢各位。那最后呢，我想跟各位提醒一下，还要跟各位说明一下，那这部片的拍摄地点在乌克兰，乌克兰现在面临非常严重的战事。其实这个监狱目前还是在持续运作当中，大部分我们在片里面看到的角色跟演员，还有这些狱囚，也还在监狱当中服刑。纳迪亚这位更生人，其实现在在斯洛伐克是一位难民。那 Elena 这位狱警呢，其实现在还在监狱里面服务。他说他也会尽量的继续的维持这个监狱的运作。那其他的另外一位的更生人，他现在已经到了这个乌克兰西部去帮助其他的难民。我也希望，不论是各位今天看到这个访问，或者是看过了这部片的放映之后呢，也能够透过各种方式，不论是透过捐款的方式或其他方式，帮助乌克兰，让他们早日脱离战争的威胁。
好，非常谢谢。也提醒大家，这个福星母亲在7月6号还有最后一场的放映。那如果您是今天先听到了导演的分享，然后对这部片子感兴趣的话，也请把握最后一次放映的机会。那 其他的今天参与我们的线上座谈的观众，那如果您您愿意伸出您的援手的话，也请大家一起就是捐款来援助我们在乌克兰的这些人民们。好。
Just first quick reminders that we will have the last screenings of 107 Mothers on July 6th on Wednesday. So if you haven't watched this film, you are more than welcome and more than invited to watch this film. And of course, for all the audience online who are seeing this film in session now or afterwards, we hope that you can contribute and help Ukrainians to stop and end this war as soon as possible.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye.